Welcome to another episode of the Vaughan Show. This is your host, of course, Vaughan. We're gonna hop right into it. This one's gonna be short and sweet. We're gonna talk about Jay Z's Accuser and all the craziness that's going on with that case. But first, supporting black businesses. Gotta shout out my guy Ty and at A Work in Progress podcast. A Work in Progress podcast. Dope content, man. He has a dope co-host as well. She was talking about something. They was talking about how I guess a fighter jet pilot flew over the wall in the Arctic and how he saw stuff there and how the government like chased him back or the military chased him back when he came back through. Very inquisitive conversations at A Work in Progress podcast, music, culture, what's going on in the news, and some topics like that. So if you're in the mood, if that's your kind of content, check out A Work in Progress podcast. Their social media handles on IG and TikTok is A Work in Progress 757. Shout out to my guy Ty. You're killing it, bro. The next thing, really don't have no new music to promote. So, and I've really been just replaying albums and shit that I had in my rotation in the first place. But I can say this one thing: it's not new music, but Yo Gotti's catalog, I never knew it was that fire. I went to Title because I support Title, and I support Title for two reasons. I support Tidal because at a point in time, it was the first black-owned streaming company, and I think still, well, I think he sold a huge part of it, so I don't really think it's black-owned anymore. But that was a major win for us and the music culture, just in period. And Tidal still has the highest payout of any DSP streaming service to artists. That's better than Apple Music, Spotify, wherever you listen to music and stream music. They're not paying the artist as much as Tidal is paying the artist to hear the same track. And that's another reason why I stayed with Tidal even after Jay exited and sold off a huge part or sold off his shares. Because if I fuck with the artist, how I say I fuck with the artist, why not go to a platform that pays them more than any other platform? And it's the same experience, if not a better experience. Win-win. But Yo Gotti's catalog is fire. Now we're gonna get into the Jay-Z lawsuit thing, and I'm gonna read court documents and provide synopsis along the way. It's not gonna be a long time. I just wanted to get this off my chest because it's too much going on out there, and liars need to be held accountable, whatever form they come in. Liars need to be held accountable. Men, women, kids, old people, mentally disabled people, normal people, they need to be held accountable for the lies that they spew. So, read my topic title. Lawsuit says Jay-Z accuser admitted false claims, but her declaration that she submitted through her lawyers through the court system says otherwise. Why, you may add? We're going to go into that. A new lawsuit says the woman who accused Sean Jay-Z Carter of rape voluntarily admitted her claim was false and influenced by plaintiff's attorney Tony Busby. Now, that comes from private investigators, more than likely hired by Jay-Z or his law firm, we want to corroborate the story as well and tell us what happened, and we'll just really convey the facts because truth matters. But Busby lawyers, you have a lawyer that's got his own lawyers, is crazy. They done filed different motions and different petitions in 3 states: New York, California, and Alabama now. And I think the reason why they did it in Alabama now is because I believe the Jane Doe accuser lives in Alabama. So more than likely, they have to file it where she currently resides at, some type of defamation lawsuit. Busby lawyer said the woman still maintains. This is her lawyer's lawyer. Stay with me now. It's going to get crazy. This is her lawyer's lawyer saying she maintains the rapper and billionaire business mogul attacked her at a party in 2000 when she was 13, and they filed a declaration from her that says she dismissed her lawsuit only because of fear. The woman said two investigators working for Jay-Z's lawyer went to her home on February the 21st and asked her to sign an affidavit stating that her claims are false. But in her words, I refused. We're going to get to that. But let me read more so I can provide context. They also asked me if Mr. Busby sought me out as a client and whether Mr. Busby offered to pay me to pursue a false claim against Jay-Z. I told them that neither of those things happened, and I asked them to leave me alone according to the declaration. So you saying you live in Alabama, and I think Alabama and Texas is not that far apart, but you saying an unknown person like yourself lives in Alabama and reached out to one of the most notorious ambulance chasing motherfuckers in the country. Maybe the world. The world, Craig. The world. Top flight security of the world, Craig. So you mean to tell me he just stumbled upon your case? Or you reached out to him? Okay, we're gonna dig more into that. But let me keep reading. Carter's new lawsuit, however, alleges Busby and his co-counsel, David Fortney, he sounds like an unscrupulous motherfucker. David Fortney duped the woman from beginning to end, including by falsely, maliciously, and manipulatively telling the woman her lawsuit needed to be dismissed because Carter was threatened to kill her. In reality, they were desperate to withdraw the false claim or face punishment in court, according to the 25-page complaint filed Monday in federal court in Mobile, Alabama. A 25-page complaint filed in federal court in Mobile, Alabama. Carter's new lawsuit says that the woman has made 3 other sexual assault allegations which were either dropped or dismissed by the courts. Let me read that again. Carter's, Jay-Z, new lawsuit says the woman has made 3 other sexual assault allegations which were either dropped or dismissed by the courts. So she tried to put cases on 3 other people. And the cases were either dropped or dismissed by the court. Drop means we don't got enough, we're going to lose the shit going to civil or criminal trial. So there's no need to do it. No need to waste our time. No need to waste billable hours. All of this shit. The second is dismissed by the courts because the judge saw the shit and was like, in good faith, I can't let this go on. I can't. Come on. But we're gonna continue, and I'm gonna paint at the end of this podcast episode. Whether you believe Jay-Z is innocent or not, that is on you. I'm not telling you what to believe, whether to believe him or not to believe him. I don't know that man. I feel like he didn't do it, but I don't know that man. I'm only here to present you with the facts and to really highlight that this woman is a liar. This woman is a liar, and it doesn't matter if she has mental illness, she should go to jail. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Apple juice, kids. Apple juice. Um, So let's pick up. Let's pick up. The lawsuit has four cases of action: malicious prosecution, abuse of process, civil conspiracy against the woman. So malicious persecution, abuse of process, and civil conspiracy against the woman. Busby, Fortney, and Busby Law Firm. So Jay-Z new lawsuit is suing the woman, Tony Buxby, the lawyer of the accuser, and Tony Buxby's lawyers. Jay-Z is suing all of them. Law firm defamation against the woman for statements made during a December the 13th NBC News interview. The filing and the woman's declaration are the first indication that Busby's team dismissed the rape lawsuit against Carter and Sean Diddy Combs last month, not because of his merit, but because of procedural issues involving Busby's ability to practice law in the Southern District of New York. First of all, let me ask you something. How the fuck you bring a case in the court that you're not even allowed to bring cases in? Let me, and my legal people will understand why I said it that way. How are you going to bring a case to court where you're not allowed to practice in that court? How? Because you didn't think it was going to go to trial. You thought by sending that demand letter to Jay-Z that a few $1,000,000 to Jay-Z, he's a billionaire. He's going to pay it. We're going to time it around his daughter's movie release. And he's not going to kick up dust because he don't want the bad publicity to affect his daughter's movie or his overall image. You thought wrong, motherfucker. You fucked around and found out. So let me continue. And if you didn't see that news interview from December the 13th, NBC News did the interview. Please go watch it. Please. You would see the inconsistency of this woman's story. I believe she said she talked to a person in the Dave Matthews band. I believe it's Dave Matthews. I don't know these country metal rappers. Bands. But their representative said at that same time that the MTV Music Awards after party was going on in New York City. They was in the Midwest on tour. They didn't even attend that awards that year. So how, when you say you vividly remember speaking to a person because that was your favorite artist or whatever the fuck this lady said, and that's what she said. I ain't gonna say whatever she said. She said that was her favorite artist, and she remembered talking to him vividly. Vividly means very clear, concise. You can picture it in your mind. But how is that possible, lady? If they are literally across the country at the time of the said rape happened. How? Then you said your daddy came and picked you up from Rochester, New York, where y'all lived, from Rochester, New York to Manhattan in the middle of the night. A crying 13-year-old girl at a gas station. A simple GPS would tell you how long it would take from Rochester, New York to Lower Manhattan. It's about a 5-hour drive, especially when there ain't no traffic. And on a night like that, it was a lot of fucking traffic because the whole basically music industry converged to Lower Manhattan for the VMAs or the MTV Music Awards. My bad. I'm sorry. MTV Music Awards. When interviewed, your father said he did not recollect. That means he didn't remember getting woke up in the middle of the night, driving 5 hours to New York City, Lower Manhattan, to pick up his crying, sobbing 13-year-old girl because she just got raped. He said he doesn't remember that. And that's something that he will remember out his own mouth. He said he doesn't remember that, and that would be something he would remember. Her own father said that. Then, when asked, well, how did she get from Rochester, New York to Lower Manhattan? She said her friend dropped her off. Her friend took her. Then, when the news wanted to corroborate that story and just wanted to interview the friend to see if he can back up what she just said. I mean, you said your friend dropped him. Give us his name and his phone number. We're going to interview him just to confirm. No harm, no foul. He passed away a few years ago. So you say you talked to a person that wasn't even near New York City during the time. You say your father picked you up from 5 hours away, and he doesn't remember that. Whether it was 20 years ago or not, you would think a father would remember something that's traumatic like that. Then you said your friend dropped you off, but he passed away a few years ago. On top of, you already have 3 other cases that was either dropped or dismissed by the courts for sexual allegations, sexual assault allegations. Have y'all ever heard the story of the boy that cried wolf? Okay. We're going to keep reading. Carter's lawyers have said Busby avoided officially appearing as a lawyer in the case to avoid possible sanctions for his lack of investigation into the credibility of the woman's claim. The judge assigned the case, U.S. District Attorney Judge Annalise Torres, on January 28th, ordered Busby to file proof of his admission to the Southern District of New York by February 14th, Valentine's Day. Busby applied for the admission the next day, but he was rejected on February 13th, and he moved to dismiss the lawsuit on February 14th, the day that she said you had to produce something that you can fight cases in the Southern District of New York courts. You can't bring a case somewhere that you don't even have legal standing to fight for your client. So that's another indication he didn't plan on this going to court. He planned on Jay-Z giving him that money from that demand letter because of your daughter movie coming out. Beyonce is having probably the second peak of her career right now. You don't want this bad publicity. And we're at a time where this society automatically believes women. And I'm not saying that that's wrong, but what happened to innocent until proven guilty? And women don't care about that until it's their daddy, until it's their uncle, until it's their brother, until it's their son that's falsely accused. Then it's, well, we have to fight, or we have to stand beside somebody, like the law says, innocent until proven guilty. It's not all believe all women then. When it's your uncle or your father or your daddy or your brother or your son getting falsely accused. Come on, man. According to Carter's new lawsuit, Fortney, who works at Busby, we're talking about David Fortney, the lawyer of Tony Busby, which is and Tony Busby is also a lawyer. Hopefully you keeping up with me. Traveled to Alabama on February 13th to meet with the accuser. It autonomized her as Jane Doe and says Carter first became aware of Jane Doe's identity on or around February 21st, 2025. and has never met or interacted in any way with Doe. During that meeting, Fortney falsely, maliciously, and manipulatively told Doe that the case against Mr. Carter needed to be dismissed as Mr. Carter has made threats against Doe's life and is too dangerous to continue the case. What lawyer would say, especially when they know they have a rock solid case, tell their client, hey, we have to drop it because he threatening to kill you, da da da, we got to drop it. Any good lawyer, especially that lawyer that had that a leg to stand on in that, even a pinky toe in that case. Look, Liana, he threatening my client, da 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 da. You're gonna run to the courts with that, not run to your client, but you want her to dismiss it. Okay. Of course, this is Jay-Z's attorney. Of course, no such threats has ever been made. Rather, Busby and Fortney was desperate to withdraw the false case or face punishment in court for their actions in filing a false pleading without Busby even being admitted in the SDNY, Southern District of New York courts, jeopardizing their ability to continue with more than 20 other cases they already had pending in the Southern District of New York. This motherfucker can't even practice in law in the Southern District of New York, but you own 20 to 21 cases. And I bet all of them cases you sent demand letters to motherfuckers too. Okay. But Busby and Cardi's battle already was to continue through an extortion and defamation lawsuit Carter filed against Busby in Los Angeles County Superior Court. But Carter's new lawsuit says the fight grew to include further extortionative threats and demands as Busby's team tried to stop Carter's lawyer from publicizing the woman's statements about Busby by threatening to publicly accuse him of harassing her. Another lawyer working with Busby and Fortney said Busby would publicly state the woman dropped the lawsuit only because she was afraid for her life and that the allegations against Mr. Carter in the dropped lawsuit was all true. Of course, those allegations about being harassed by Mr. Carter's people since she dropped the lawsuit and about her reasons for dropping the lawsuit are and always were false, according to Jay-Z's lawyer. Thus, the threats of extortion and further defamation continue to this day, necessitating that Mr. Carter take action to prevent unscrupulous actors from further preying on him. Unscrupulous actors from further preying. Unscrupulous. That was a good word. Unscrupulous. That's the word of the day. Unscrupulous. In an email to Legal Affairs and Trials, Busby said the woman hasn't and won't recant her story, and instead she has stated repeatedly she stands by her claims. We'll see. After speaking with Jane Doe today, it's clear to me that the quotes attributed to her lawsuit are completely made up. Or they spoke to someone who isn't Jane Doe. So you mean now you saying they either made up or you didn't even talk to the person that was the original accuser, which I find both laughable and wrong, because you mean to tell me this man is probably paying tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars to these private investigators and they went to interview the raw woman? Okay. This is just another attempt to intimidate and bully this poor woman that we will deal with in due course. Okay. We won't be bullied or intimidated by frivolous cases. We'll see. In addition to the 3 previous dropped sexual allegations, stick with me now. We're coming to a close. People. Come on. In addition to the 3 previous dropped sexual assault cases, the woman has a history of mental health problems. Now, when you say somebody has a history of mental health problems, how do you even get a history of mental health problems? That means you go to the hospital. More than likely, your family sent you there saying you was on some crazy shit. You need to be evaluated. Maybe going through school, they had IEP plans on you saying you was this or you was that, or the court deemed that you was mentally insane or you was mentally incapable of doing certain things or recognizing or understanding certain things. But we're gonna continue. We're gonna continue. Carter's new lawsuit says less than 3 months before Busby sent Carter's lawyers a demand letter, the woman was in court on mental health related issues in connection with her second-degree assault charge and jailed for following a drug test. So she's violent. She was already in court because she had a second-degree assault charge, and I think it's first, second, third degree assault. So you beat up somebody pretty badly, and then they put you in jail for failing the drug test. Okay. Testimony. Testimony from her psychiatrist available in court records indicate the woman has severe mental health disorders. Let me read that again. The accuser psychiatrist said in court records the woman has severe mental health disorders and takes multiple medications, probably to keep her ass sane, for her to not hear voices. According to the complaint also says the woman's parents recently declared bankruptcy and have custody of her children. So you so mentally unstable that the courts had to take your kids away and give it to your parents. And more than likely, your parents had to take care of these kids and cause them to file bankruptcy because they're trying to take care of themselves and these kids. Lady, you have bigger things to worry about than a lie like this. But we're going to continue. Doe appears to be suffering from personal and financial hardship. This is Jay-Z's lawyers. Despite desperate to obtain a payday, Doe hired the Busby law firm. And why do you think she would say that? Or why do you think Jay-Z's lawyers would say that? Because her parents filed for bankruptcy. She lost custody of her kids. Now her parents got the kids. So she's looking for a payday. She needs some money. A whole lot of money, a few $1,000,000 could help her and her family. Hey, you do what you want to do, but don't lie. And damn sure don't lie on a black man for something that he didn't do. Doe hired the Busby law firm, which has a long history of whipping up a media frenzy with vague and sensational claims against public figures to extort payments from Mr. Carter under the threat of devastating harm to his reputation. The woman said in her 2-page declaration that the investigators who went to her home on February 21st also approached her father and mother multiple times, asking them similar questions about whether Mr. Busby had paid me and requesting that they sign affidavits stating that my claims were false. It was very alarming. This is the girl. This is the girl. It was very alarming to me that Jay-Z's agents are looking for me and now know my whereabouts. Fear of intimidation and retaliation from Jay-Z and/or his associates or fans is one of the reasons that I chose not to pursue the New York action. So you saying you dropped the case out of fear for Jay-Z or one of his fans doing something to you or your family when this man fought and petitioned the court to keep you to remain Jane Doe because he didn't want people to know your name, and he already knew what social media was going to do to you once they figured out your information. Let me say that again. He petitioned the court to keep her under as Jane Doe so her name won't be released, and it caused a media frenzy, and all these people on social media found out where her mama lived, where her daddy lived, what happened with her kids, pulling health records, because the internet is going to do that. The internet is known for doxing people, as Clubhouse. um, it says, I instructed my attorneys to dismiss it, which is dated February the 27th, but was not filed until Monday. Although I ultimately chose not to pursue them, I stand by my claims in the New York action and believe I had a meritorious claim against Jay-Z. The woman restated the claims that sparked the allegation. In September of 2000, when I was approximately 13 years old, I attended a party at a house in New York where both Sean Combs, Diddy, and Jay-Z were present. I saw and recognized both men at the party. At the party, I accepted a drink and began to feel lightheaded. I went into an empty bedroom to lie down by myself. Soon after that, Diddy, Jay-Z, and another individual entered the bedroom. They said it was a woman celebrity. Jay-Z removed my clothes, and both Jay-Z and Diddy engaged in sexual intercourse with me. I did not consent to this, and given that I was only 13 at the time, I could not have given consent. First of all, you didn't even, that's lawyer talk. First, you said when I was approximately 13 years old. That was in your first statement. Your first basically 6-7 words was that. In September of 2000, I was approximately 13 years old. Then you ended the same statement, and given that I was only 13 at the time, I could not have given legal or valid consent. So your lawyers wrote that for you, and you just spewed it out your mouth. Did something happen to you? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know you, lady. But the facts that I just laid out to you, y'all gonna have to hold this one. I don't think Jay-Z did this. I honestly don't. If it was a rape kit report from that night, if it was a police report from that night, if it was even pictures of the so-called bruises or whatever from that night, I could kind of say, damn, that's evidence. Bro out here looking crazy. He may have, I don't know. It's looking weird. It's looking weird. But none of those things have ever been produced. None of those things have ever even been talked about being produced because it doesn't exist. Let me just go through the facts again. This woman said her father picked her up from New York City, and he came from Rochester, New York. That's a 5-hour drive. The daddy was interviewed. Her father was interviewed and said, I would have remembered that drive, and I don't remember that. Then you said you talked to somebody because that was one of your biggest artists, or that was your favorite artist, and their spokesperson came out and said, we was halfway across the country when that happened. It's impossible for us to be there for you to be talking to him. So that's 2 lies. Third lie. You said your friend dropped you off from Rochester to Lower Manhattan. And we can't even corroborate his story because he passed away a few years ago. Okay? So that's 3. Just with this case. Then you said, or then you did, you had 3 other cases that was either dropped by your own lawyers at the time, whoever they were, or dismissed by the courts. Probably over the same reason that this woman is psycho. This woman is crazy. This woman has a mental disability. And you saying, oh, well, now you dragging it, Ray. Why you saying that? Just go watch the fucking NBC News interview. The way this woman is talking, and I know people joke about me and my lisp, and uh, sometimes I jumble my words, but I'm not fucking retarded. I'm not fucking retarded. Or I don't have a mental disability. When I heard this woman talk, how she put words together, how she formed sentences, I feel this woman has a mental disability. And then it kind of confirmed with the story because she has mental health issues. So she either has, well, she has a mental disability. I mean, it could be severe, or it could be mild, it could be whatever. But to the point where you lost custody of your kids, how can we believe anything that you said, ma'am? And to the next point, Emmett Till just got his statue unveiled. I don't want to say the wrong place, so I'm not going to say the city or state, but it was somewhere in the South. I believe is where he's from. But Emmett Till got it, and when they unveiled it, it was a nice statue. But it's a reminder that white women, black women, Asian women, fat women, short women, old women, young women, women lie. Whether it was 50 years ago, 60 years ago, 40 years ago, today in 2025, women lie. And that young boy lost his life because a white woman lied. And it was still proven that it was proven, I feel like, a few years ago that she lied. And she still didn't go to jail. She still won't held accountable. But that man lost his life. And it's sad. And I know I said it on the last one, but when are we going to start holding people accountable for lying? I.e., let me put a name to it, fuck sugarcoating it, women. When are women going to hold other women accountable for lying? It is real sexual assault victims out here that really have a hard time expressing and telling their story. And for a woman to lie about sexual assault when there's real women out here walking around that have never shared their story for one reason or another, you need to be stumped out. Not by me and not by a man. Women need to come together and stump this liar out. But people don't care. And especially women don't care. I'm going to say it that way. Yes, a few women care about what's this and what's that and if the truth. But when we're talking, I'm speaking generalities. I'm speaking very general, very basic, general. Women don't care until it's their brother that's being lied on. Women don't care until it's their father being lied on, their son, or especially their son being lied on. Then it's, oh, well, my son wouldn't do that, and oh, she's lying, and oh, how can y'all just believe her, and da 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 da. I mean, is this not the same case? And it's sickening. It's very sickening how these people came out against this man. And social media gonna be social media. And that's why I love him and Beyonce, because clearly they only show you what they want to show you. And they really don't take none of this shit, this internet shit. I mean, who gives a fuck about what people say on the internet? Other artists and other just famous people have killed themselves over negative attention and not being well received in public. But this man has stood in the light and said, "You won't bully me," over a lie. Which I feel like if he knew if it was true, he would have paid the shit and went away. And the crazy thing about it is, I feel like in my heart it's a lie. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. And the crazy part about it is, if that lawyer would have sent that demand letter to Jay-Z, and Jay-Z would have paid that money, just so he didn't have bad press, just so his daughter movie event premiere didn't get overshadowed. People would have been like, you see, why did you pay it if you weren't guilty? Why did you pay it if you weren't guilty? And now these dumb ass people are online saying, well, he paid her to drop it. What fucking sense does that make, you stupid cunt motherfucker? He paid her to drop the case. If he would have paid her to drop the case, motherfucker would have just paid the demand letter that the lawyer sent in the first place. But he didn't. I I don't understand where critical thinking skills went in this society, yo. You guys can't think for yourselves, and it's very fucking scary. But that's what I'm here for. That's what the Ray Vaughan show is here for. To just provide you with a different perspective. Not really picking no sides, laying out the facts and the truth, and you decide what's the truth or not. Well, it's been one. You know, we're gonna wrap up. We're gonna wrap up. The Ray Vaughan, my personal links. Ray Vaughan __. Ray Vaughan __. Facebook. Oh, not Facebook. IG, TikTok, Twitter. Ray Vaughan __. That's my personal links. The Ray Vaughan Show on IG and on TikTok. Man, shout out, like, subscribe, follow me, interact with the Ray Vaughan Show on IG and on TikTok. What else we got? Sorry, this is gonna be a quick episode. I just had to get this off my chest. Yeah. Shout out to the Ray Vaughan Show. Shout out to A Work in Progress Podcast. Shout out to Ty. Check them out. A Work in Progress Podcast 757. And we lit. We back. I'm gonna keep you guys updated as this case goes forward and more evidence comes out, and you're gonna see. I mean, or maybe you won't. I don't give a fuck. It's my job to present the plate. Whether you eat the food or not, hey. I'm gonna end with a quote. Because I think we got away from that, and we used to end every episode with a quote. So I'm gonna get back to that. Someone somewhere is busier than you and working on the same idea. Think about that. Someone somewhere is busier than you and thinking about the same idea that you're thinking about. 50 Cent said that. Shout out to my guy 50. We're going to dive into the 50 madness and big meat madness. Probably in the next episode. I'm still trying to put things together on that so I can present accurate and true information. But yeah, shout out to the Ray Vaughan Show. Shout out to you guys. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel. And make sure you share the video. You share it, you like it. Even if you say, look at this dumb motherfucker. Hey, a like is a like, a share is a share. It's your boy. It's been one, the Ray Vaughan Show. Top flight of the world, Craig.